dorms, roommates, Greek life, football games. I was more of a cappella auditions, new books, and pumpkin spice lattes at office hours kind of girl myself. But whatever you imagine or remember the 4 best years of your life looking like, it probably won't look like that for college students this year. The COVID-19 pandemic is creating a new college campus reality for those fortunate enough to be able to attend. And students are just anxious to know what that'll be like.
There's a lot of questions about what everything's gonna look like. And I have an apartment for the fall and I don't know if I'm gonna be moving down there if classes are online, but I don't really wanna be paying for my apartment if I'm not gonna be living there. Wisconsin has a great football team, so yeah, missing out on game days and everything like that would be really difficult.
I've been pushing forward with the hope that we can all have this very glorious return in the fall and that everything will have some sort of clear progression. And if things get pushed back in the fall, it's just gonna be a little bit darker for me.
It's a weird time for returning students who've already caught a glimpse of how sweet campus life can be. But it's an arguably weirder time for incoming students, high school seniors like Maddie, who were excited to start a new life at a new school and in a brand new place.
I always thought about going to a big state school. My dad went to UW, so I was always going to football games, just being around that big school energy. So I thought that's what I wanted for sure in college. And I envisioned my fall just really jumping into all of the campus activities. With all this uncertainty, it's definitely has been tough. Trying to paint a new picture for what my fall would be like. It's also such a big transitional phase in your life. You're moving out, you're living with new people, you kind of mentally prepare yourself for that. I've always wanted to leave Seattle and get to a new place. And so worst case, I wouldn't be able to go to LA at all or move in with my roommates who I've connected with and been really excited to live with.
So how much of that freshman year that Maddie envisioned will become a reality? Honestly, nobody really knows yet. But could how students handled the disruption in the spring give us some clues about what new students will face in the fall?
At the university, I had access to recording space, whereas now, I do not have a recording booth in my childhood home. So I have now had to build a studio for myself.
I hope that we get to come back to class soon and return to a somewhat normal daily routine and get back to learning and get back to working the way that we were. And hopefully people will have a little bit more of an appreciation.
My home environment is not the most conducive to learning. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment with my 5 family members. So as I'm filming this, there's madness in the background.
So while students have been improvising during their spring semester, universities are still trying to figure out how things will look in the fall.
I don't think anyone knows what college is going to look like in the fall. I think every college is preparing for a variety of scenarios.
That's Francie Deep. She reports for the Chronicle of Higher Education and has been all over the news of how the pandemic is impacting colleges.
I do think a lot of them will put out sort of more optimistic sounding statements than you might realistically expect. A vaccine's not going to come out for a long time, certainly not in time for fall. Treatment, I suppose, is probably not going to be around either. So yeah, I think people should be prepared for classes to a lot be online, or maybe there might be something where colleges will bring students back for a little bit, and then maybe there's a resurgence in their community and they'll have to go back online. There might be sort of an in and out kind of thing.
Some schools have also talked about offering large lecture classes online and testing students on campus for COVID-19 and limiting the number of students per dorm room as possible changes to reopen campus safely. But changes like that are easier for some schools to make than others.
The larger universities have less flexibility, and honestly, flexibility is king doing here?
Evelyn Alexander is a college counselor, and her phone has been buzzing all day, every day, with calls and texts from students who are hearing about what their college life might be like and thinking, that is not the college experience I signed up for.
We're seeing seniors asking if they should take a gap year, which means they're asking if they should if they can defer at the colleges where they've enrolled, or they're considering going to their local community college.
And many families are questioning whether the new college normal is worth the high cost of tuition. Some have even sued universities for refunds since classes moved online in the spring, arguing they're not getting the full college experience and quality education they're paying for. But Evelyn and Francie told me that universities are in a tough spot financially.
Universities are really getting hit on all sides when it comes to their budget, So if they're a public university, they depend a lot on state funding. Most states' budgets are getting cut a lot right now. If they depend a lot on tuition, a lot of places are worried that not as many students are going to come back in the fall as they normally would expect. If they depend a lot on donations, everybody's going through a recession right now, so presumably donors are going to donate less.
Colleges want to bring their students back, and they want to provide the education that parents think that they're paying for.
So we've talked about how current college students and incoming freshmen are feeling. But Evelyn told me that she's actually most worried about how all of this will affect current high school juniors.
If seniors are deferring their enrollment, in other words, they've deposited at a college, they know they want to go to that college, but not right now, what that means is they're holding a spot in next year's class. So what should be a spot for the class of 2021 is now taken already.
What would you say to students who are anxious about their college experience not being what they'd hoped it would be because of everything that's going on?
I would say to them what I say to all of my students, which is college is what you make of it. So here we all are in this wacky situation, and we're all making the most lemonade we can make. And so whatever it is that you wanted from your college experience, you go make that happen. That's why they chose you to be there, and that's why you chose them. So now it's time to make the magic, and it might not look exactly the way you thought it would look, but this is what we call grit and resilience.